Hello, hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome in. Come on in, take a seat. Say hi to the person next to you. Boy, I wish I could just be more chipper about these results, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We'll get there. Need to have a good amount of players return, probably, for that to happen. So, let's get AJ right in here real quick. We're not messing around today. We're getting right into it. We're dissecting this. We need to understand. We need to figure out. We're going to figure it out tonight. Why are we gifting goals? Why are we giving soft goals away for now 3 games in a row? And I get it. Part of it is definitely the fact that we don't have the experience we normally have on the field that can manage games, that can understand game states, see when things are starting to go a little topsy-turvy, and can level things out. We don't have that as much right now, and that's clearly affecting things. When we get those players back, like I said at the top of the show, things might go back to a little more normalcy, but it's just going to be rough waters until we get there.
Indeed, yeah. It's a 2-1 loss. It is more points dropped from a winning position. That's 2 in a row at home that way, and that doesn't read for very good verbiage there because, yeah, I mean, when you're leading at home, I mean, it's just like we've tried to make this a fortress, and the fans, I think, did everything we could, but when you get gut punched, it's brutal. I know you mentioned on the stream that well, not the stream, but the episode, that you would rather kind of from a winning position to draw or something like that, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, this is, I think I'd rather be the team that does the tying, because those feelings are a lot more where we're saving something. And I mean, this one obviously it's a way different in a sense that it wasn't really rescuing per se, but we do tend to concede right after we score, and that's a very soft underbelly that we need to really take care of. I mean, essentially, though, we have a corner. Thiago Almada just gifts them.
Attempts a set play that they gone over in training right after they did a full 3-person substitution, and those people were not. They didn't get the memo. They weren't ready for that, and he underhits it. And it just,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, don't do anything too rash. Don't do anything too cute when the players aren't even in the game fully yet. They just got in. Like, that's why you hold a lot of players until after a corner. But instead, we have this, again, planned subs that we do, which we understand that, they're planned. So, okay, they're at the 65th minute or whatever, they're coming in. But the thing is, we've seen over and over why coaches do not just allow players to come on during a set piece. They wait until the set piece is done. And okay, so be it. If they, the players that you are going to sub play a few more minutes. Okay, unless they're like just drastically, fatigued or injured, okay. But like, it's just so odd, and plus it probably does not really feel good for the players subbed off right after they provide an assist or something, or they score.
Because we've scored right before the past like 3 substitutions we've made in these games.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not the only reason, but and then plus though, the second half I think the fact is we only left two players back too. And I mean, okay, if that was a set piece, like where was the player that you were going to play to? I don't understand where the pass was really supposed to go. And Ronaldo Hernandez, like, there's nothing like that he did drastically wrong today, but it is like that's dire in terms of the depth.
Yeah.
If he,
I mean, he did gift Lucho Acosta a goal by keeping him and Baird onside for no reason. So I mean, the commentators are like, why did you do that? Like, but I mean, they're good players, so of course they're going to try and sneak onside at the last second. So they just beat Hernandez, which is what you expect to happen when you have Hernandez playing in a role he doesn't typically play. And Pineda said as much in the press conference. He's like, yeah, I never want to play Ronald in this role, but we have to. We're out of center backs.
Well, that's the thing. We had Efren Morales, and yes, so okay, if you have him in the squad as a center back and you don't play him, I mean that's pretty damning. Mm-hmm. You're basically saying, he's not ready, and you just, had a player from the twos just to fill the numbers. So
that might be what it is. Who knows?
And that's fair, but so he doesn't trust Morales. That much is clear. So, I think that speaks to the lack of depth that also the front office has not provided Pineda. But man, like we only have one fullback and we have 4 center backs. Like it's not enough,
and they're all injured.
It's just and they're all injured now. Like we have Abram, the only I memed this on Twitter that that Will Smith meme where the rest of his family in Bel Air, there's nobody, like all the furniture's gone and he's the only one there, and it's like the last episode, it's
yeah.
Where's everybody?
It's he's like, well, I definitely he secured his spot for sure out of the fact that everyone is the last man standing.
Right, and he actually played pretty decent, but I think it was also that second goal. It's why did the midfield, which it's part of the reason why, is that they did not get into the game state yet, and so shell shocked after they conceded that goal, and then still not switched on. And midfield just allows that ball to come in to Lucho Acosta in the box. It's just like, like so many things. So many of these instances keep happening. And yeah, Pineda has said, he can't, fix this in game. And yes, I understand that. But it's the players, as well. They need to figure out like good game states in which to play a set piece that just either play a short corner or play a long corner when you actually have everybody up. But don't do some in-between crap and then you only have really one player back.
Yeah.
At that point, you're not recognizing the danger enough.
Yeah. I mean, Pineda in the press conference tonight said he attributes it to Thiago's inexperience and his youngness, that he decided to go with that, even though they had just made 3 subs, and he didn't recognize the danger that they could potentially be in if he scuffs it, and then he scuffed it.
Yeah. And the whole game changes from that. But let's be fair. FC Cincy hit the post 3 times. Yeah. They were getting in constantly.
Yeah.
This was a match that probably was deserved in terms of the scoreline.
Yeah.
I mean, and we know how stout Cincy is defensively. And man, it's just another line of keepers that, against us, stand on their head mostly because it took a golazo to beat him. Otherwise, like, he was getting to everything. Like the Saba chance, he should have put it away. I mean, but again, credit to him for that save. But it is also, Saba absolutely needs to be able to, like, get it to the far post. Like, he tried to go for the near post. It was obvious. It was,
Yeah.
And but take nothing away from the build up and the play. That counter was, like, really brilliantly played. It would have been really good goal to have scored. But yeah, I mean, we're just so weak in some parts of kind of the mentality. And yes, these were two tough teams that we played.
These are cup contending teams.
Right. But that even exacerbates it even more. Is like, you have to stay switched on against top sides. So you're telling me that, it's like these players are essentially, they're taking plays off against top sides. Like, how are you supposed to be a top side if you take plays off? So
yeah,
it's yes, we're banged up. Yes, we don't have our top players. I mean, we definitely looked a lot more energetic with Shauna Silva in, with Yorgos Yakimakis. Daniel Rios, his touches were really heavy as a center forward. Not too often he was really getting involved into play and holding it up. Like, it was pretty poor. And I mean, in Yakimakis, I was watching him in the warm-ups, and he's not quite there yet, obviously. Like, his knee, all bandaged up, but his shots were just off. Like, not the normal crispness that he normally takes shots with. And so it's a bit of that too. I mean, it's a decent performance from a TAC standpoint with so many players out. Like, the buildup wasn't that bad. But
how did we play so well last game, and then this game we are not? I mean, against considerably decent opponents at around the same level, but I contend that for whatever reason Philadelphia just didn't show up until they did, and Cincinnati really showed up, which is weird because they're coming off a 2-game losing streak, and they just decided to say, screw that, we're kind of taking this back in our direction. So I don't know why. What?
Yeah, I think it's a level of this. Sorry to cut you off, but it's like, it's because there's some familiarity, obviously. You know what I mean? Alec Can, he's played here. You have Miles Robinson, he's played here.
You have Lucho Acosta, who's scored every time he's been here.
Exactly. And it's like, so, they're not scared. And then last time they played us at the Benz, I was as perturbed as I've been after any game, because they dominated proceedings. And it was them and Columbus that I was just like, the fact that they were able to last time, after we went up again and then they came back, it was just like, they've done this before at the Benz, so they're not scared. And I think that's kind of the factor here that we're dealing with, is that FC Cincy, they're growing in experience, even though it's as well. Okay, yes, 2-game losing streak, but good teams figure out how to stop the bleeding. And now, we've dropped points in 2 consecutive matches like this. We need to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not dire yet, but it is to a point where good teams, they don't let the bad streaks happen. So yeah, you lose a game. Okay, shake it off. Next game, retribution.
Yeah.
And are we gonna do that? Hopefully, but
Yeah.
this is a frustrating match.
It was. Let's see what some of the folks are saying in the chat. Kamix says hashtag Pineda out. Strong says howdy folks. So 11 points from 8 games so far, 3-2-3 record, which is a solid mid-table record. It's like, yeah, but it's not where we want to be, but that is at least something to say that we're holding on to a mid-table record with a good amount of our starters not being, firing on all cylinders. Daniel Graham says, bringing on Hernandez instead of Morales was certainly a choice. Don't forget Morales was re-signed in December too. We could have walked away. Kevin Sprezzi says, Sliz so far is the worst 6 in our history. I'll take Jeff Darlington or Santi over him. I would not take Santi. 1000% would not take Santi.
Hold on. Okay, Darlington Nagby, not a 6. But interesting. So we're saying Bartosz Schließ is the worst 6 that we've had? No. He was doing well tonight. He was stopping a lot tonight. And he was keeping the tempo. There was a good level of it where he was controlling the proceedings.
He's trying to thread some passes too, and they weren't landing very often, unfortunately. But he was trying, so there was that. I definitely don't think he was an issue tonight, and I definitely don't think he is among our worst 6s for sure. The Santiago Sosa comparison really blows my mind. I just feel like they're wildly different. However, even if Darlington played as a 6, I'm sure he'd be one of the best in the league because he's just such a good player.
Right. But he's not really a defensive midfielder. He's the guy that basically sets your tempo and doesn't really tackle that much because he doesn't really need to. He basically his positioning's so good. So it's just not really that's not his role per se. Yes, his number is 6, but it's not. He's not a 6.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's a Darlington Nagby. He's whatever he wants to be. He does whatever he wants because he's that intelligent of a player that they just let him pretty much do what he wants. So, and it works. It works. So, so let's see. Do you have any other thoughts before we hop into guests?
I said this on Twitter as well, but shouts out to Draguzan and Bartosz Schließ for clapping the fans after the game. The only 2 to do that. And, it's just some of the other players were too busy talking to Ali Khan and Miles Robinson. It's okay, well, fair, but, yeah, it's also, these fans paid to be here. And yes, while you guys pushed till the very end, and it was very hectic at the end because I don't know if you could hear it and feel it from the TV, but the fans inside the stadium were really pushing the team.
Yeah, it came across a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. Well, these players. Yeah, you gotta clap the fans. It's not
40-some thousand.
Yeah, exactly. You taking the fans for granted, not smart. And we're not always gonna be here, and we're not always gonna be on your side if things like that continue to happen like that.
Before we hop in with Drew, I want to give you this take from one of our patrons, Dr. Magnifico. He can't be on here tonight because he's busy, but he wanted to say that when he talks about the crowd, because he was trying to get a feel of how many people were at the game. He said, even when we win these days, I can't help but think there's an air of desperation around the club that's actually affecting the perceived value among fans. Even if management doesn't give a crap about winning, which is ridiculous, they should give a crap about audience metrics and overinflating their valuation based on 5-year-old jersey sales and increasing ticket prices that don't match the market. It's a big red flag. That's not Atlanta United in 2017. That's Enron in 2001.
Ooh, you know what? He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like, it's I would, it's this. I think the fans here are very real. Like you have maybe fans in other communities, that drink the Kool-Aid completely, and they're like, oh yeah, they'll defend everybody till the end. But that's the thing. That's why we're mediocre. Like, let's be real. We're a mediocre team right now. And we have been mediocre or worse for longer than we've been good.
Yeah.
So, what changes? People being realistic about what's happening at the club.
Yeah.
So,
and to stop looking at us as if we're a second in the Eastern Conference perennially and competing for a cup every year, because we're not, and we haven't been for many years.
Right. And so, while we've won some trophies, and we'll these fans that keep filling up the stadium, like what Frank de Boer said, that we're spoiled. We're not spoiled anymore. Like, it's like we have supported the club through tough times, and now there are some, while it's injuries and whatnot, but it's still on the front office too, that we're woefully short in depth. And then, you have this type of stuff that's happening right now. It's like you have to play Ronald Hernandez at center back against FC Cincy, the Supporters Shield winners last year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we even need to say any more than that.
Yeah.
Like, that's outrageous.
Let's we need not to, because we can have Drew do it for us.
Sure.
So we're gonna have him hop on in a moment. But yeah, one question we're gonna have to get to at one point in the show is the Brad Guzan question, because that's coming up a lot in the chat. So we not in the YouTube chat if you're looking for it. I know Stronk was leading the charge in the Discord. If you want to bring some of those points out again, we can hash them out. And Drew has joined us. Drew, how you doing? Welcome.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, all things considered, I'm sure.
You give your thoughts.
I had a brief moment of, oh, there's Almada, and then we give up 2 quick goals, and I go, okay, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah. It's it was a very helter-skelter match, really. I mean, it's like back and forth, but I think they had the better chances, and they were peppering our goal.
Yes, they were. Other than really the Saba chance in the first half, I think they had a majority of the better chances. Second half, we started to create a little bit more, but we didn't have that many great scoring chances. And then Almada puts a wonder goal in, and we're off to the races, we think. And nope, we kill the momentum with a dumb turnover. That's 2 games in a row that something like that's happened, and it just kills our momentum and gives the other team a lifeline.
So, for you, did you think Mascara has, I can almost say this with a straight face. Do you think Mascara has earned another start?
Next match? No. In the future? Yes. He's shown enough to me that he can bring something to this team. I don't think...
But is that something better off at the end, towards the end of games?
I think it is better at the end of the games, but in certain situations, I guess it would be fine, but I do honestly like him as a sub coming off and running at tired defenses. Unfortunately, right now, Wolf's a non-option right now.
Yeah.
And that, with Silva making his way back, good to see him get some good minutes here, and hopefully he's ready to go next week, but you never know, and right now, I don't know what to do. I'd rather play Mascara than Wolf right now still, so...
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of a tale of just kind of dire returns. Like, yeah, okay, Wolf didn't work out. Okay, well, let's try Mascara. Okay, Mascara didn't work out. Oh, Silver's back, thank God. But,
Yeah, yeah.
But it just kind of speaks to like the depth in MLS, unfortunately. Like,
Yeah, but then you have like Cincinnati, who has like 3 United States men's national team starting defenders, and then they have their DPs, and you're like, wait, huh? What?
I know. It's a little bit of that too, and I know, right? Because DeAndre Yedlin as well. It's like that gift that they got from Inter Miami is like that. Yeah, like okay, Yedlin's not like the greatest right back or anything, but I mean he's a good player in this league, so it's like
yeah.
But yeah, no, our lack of depth in terms of good depth is very telling, and you know I think yes, next man up. It's we're at least salvaging it at points, but you know these players get found out quick. And, you know, Rios, it's like, okay, well, you know, against these 3 center backs, like, yeah, you know, that are all very large human beings and quite fast, too. Yeah, it's like Miles Robinson neutralized Dan Rios. Matt Miazga pretty much did as well. It's just like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem to have us wrapped up pretty tight. Almost
Right.
all over the pitch. It was hard. It was hard to watch how suffocating Cincinnati was. You know, they played a high press in the beginning and really gave us a lot of issues. And then once they got the lead, they played counterattack, and it really hurt. You know, it's just we didn't really have anything to. It's annoying. I hate analyzing games like this, and I'll keep saying this every time it happens because it's like. We don't have our like fully operational battle station. So who cares if our depth is not good enough to beat Cincinnati? Of course they're not. They were never going to be. Like we're not putting out the depth pieces and going, "Yep, here we go. Here's our MLS Challenging Cup team." So when that happens, I'm like, "Well, what happened here? We need to really figure out what happened and how we can fix it." It's like, we can fix it by playing our starters. Like, and then we can talk about things. But until we do that, it's like, yeah. Well, I mean, then it's.
When have we played all 3 DPs? You know, maybe 5 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, back when we were still good, maybe.
Yeah, I mean then, yeah, exactly. Like 2019, maybe. Like, but even then, it was like Barco technically was one of the DPs, so it's like, you know. That technically doesn't count in that sense. But either way, for this match, you know, Noah Kopp going down with apparent migraines and whatnot in the second half. Ronald Hernandez gets subbed on. Did you feel like there was a drop-off? Did you feel like there was...
1,000%, yeah. Noah Cobb's been very good.
Cobb has been... he was starting to play at a level I'm going, if he continues this for a while here, he's got a shout for the Olympic team at this point with how he was playing. But I came downstairs and I see Hernandez running onto the field, and I'm like, oh, who got hurt? What happened? What's going on? And I see it's Cobb off, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because Hernandez wasn't horrible. He did an admirable job trying to fill in a position that he doesn't play. You definitely give up the height battle. You also give up the strength battle, and and then that second goal, that's on him. That was a player that is playing out of position, not knowing what to do, and it showed, and it cost us. I don't know why Pineda didn't go with Morales. That baffles me. That we would rather play a player out of position than play a center back on the bench.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, he's a young kid, and I guess he's not really trusted nor ready, and nor has he. It would be him making his debut against the Supporter Shield winners. So it could be very, I guess, shell-shocking. But you have him on the bench. So, obviously you think he's good enough to make the squad. Well, then, what message are you sending to Morales at that point as well?
He'll be ready for when Ronald Hernandez gets an injury next game, and then we have to go to our fifth string CB.
Oh, please no. Please no.
And okay, we're not playing in Champions League, but the 2019 roster, when we had our center backs then, Florentine Pogba was our fourth string center back. That's insane.
Yeah.
It was levels like that, and that's levels above. It's just it's a bit crazy, but I'm surprised FC Cincy didn't actually make that more of a target, which they did a little bit later on. They brought in their number 9. That was a beast.
Yeah.
That dude was beast. And I'm surprised they didn't just park him on Ronaldo Hernandez, and just because I was like, okay, yeah, Lucho Costa and Ronaldo Hernandez. Okay, I'm like, that's at least okay, size wise, we'll be okay-ish maybe, but no, I mean, it's the inexperience. He plays a high line, or not high line. He plays pretty much at the goal. Yep. And so it's you got played there, and it's but let's bring some positivity.
Okay.
Were you surprised by anyone's performance in this match?
In a good way, yes, because you brought up this comment in the chat, and I kind of said something. But Schleich had, I would say this was the game where he is starting to show his stuff, and he was all over the pitch. He was breaking up plays, very well breaking up plays. There was that one at the end of the game where he took on 2 guys, took the ball off both of them, and then earned a foul, and that was incredible. We haven't seen 6 like that in a long time. He's also starting to get the confidence to jump up into the plays. He hasn't gotten that passing quite yet. He hasn't gotten that connection, but you can see him starting to try to connect plays, make runs into the box, and make runs upfield. And that's very promising, because then that means you've got another attacker, you've got another player for teams to worry about. And I can't say if that shot would have gone in, but that shot that went off of a Baram in the box looked very, very good. I was like, oh, that if that didn't hit him, I think that's going in.
No, it was well struck, and
Yeah.
Brahm, yeah, man, just poor, poor positioning, I guess, to a degree, or unlucky maybe is better. It's like, man, yeah, exactly. If he opened his account that way,
Oof. Yes,
that's a sweet one. But yeah, it's I mean, I respect people's opinion that yeah, it's like okay, maybe you're not seeing what Schleich is doing, and you maybe some of the errant passes here and there, but it's like he's trying like a little bit more progressive passes than some of our other sixes have. Matheus Rossetto, not exactly a six, but sometimes had to play the six. Like, that man never saw a forward pass, unfortunately.
Yeah, and, Kevin Sprezzi never mentioned Ibarra either, so you know.
Yeah.
Hard and good defensive work, but couldn't get a pass forward.
Exactly.
All right, let's read a couple of these comments. Justin Florini says, what can Atlanta do for a win? My gosh. He also says, Stian has to come back soon. Yeah, hopefully he does. Strong says, I love when Mike gets intense. Yeah, well, you know, bad performances can sometimes get me animated. And Daniel says, he's sixth string since apparently Hernandez is fifth string for CBs, I guess. I don't know. I would say like this is a good segue. I would say Josh Cohen is the sixth string center back at this point. Just get him on there. I mean, if we're not going to play him as goalie, let's talk about that. So, were any of the goals tonight on Brad Guzan?
No. Yeah, the one-on-one basically that he had to face. No. The Mucho Costa goal. No. Like, what could he have done? I mean, basically, when the line is pretty much at his goal, you know, when it's like, bruh.
Yeah, they had like a 2.5 xG tonight. Like,
but yeah, go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say, none of the goals I put on him. I have noticed some of his positioning is starting to slip. That one header that was off the post, I think that was second half. He was weirdly out of position. He was way too close to his near post and was kind of just scrambling to try to
he was
get
super
over there.
beat. Yeah,
he was super beat there, and it was very much flat. I got flashes of last year and watching him. That's something to watch out for. Is if that positioning starts slipping again, it might be time to pull him if he starts letting in goals because of bad positioning.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's a really good point, Jinx. But the bit about that is that, okay, when the players in front of him, it's like players not only in attack play hero ball, but defensively, players play hero ball there too. Because if he feels like, okay, he's got to compensate, not everyone is a Neuer. Not everyone can play sweeper keeper, Everyone can spray that ball and land it right on the, strong foot of the player that they intend to pass it to. And it's like at this level, and with his experience, he maybe there are some of those moments where he feels like, oh, okay, well, these guys don't have enough experience yet. I need to do something. And it's I think last year was a lot of that, but also his repaired Achilles as well a little bit probably sapped his ability to react quickly. But yeah, I mean, let's just be real though. Like, as far as center backs, we've only got 4. Like, anybody that comes in after that is not actually center back depth.
Yeah,
Efraim Morales is technically kind of a twos player kind of to the first team. I think he's a supplemental player.
Yeah.
So, like, we need more. Clearly, we need more. That
Yeah.
like,
It sucks too. I said I was giving praise to our depth at center back and forward and our positions for midfield and stuff like that. I was giving praise for our depth, and now I'm looking at it going, we didn't have enough.
Yeah, I mean, when you get some freak injuries and stuff like that, you're never gonna have enough. But it's still like going into a season with only 4 center backs is just not like you, especially with a club with ambition. It's just not good enough, and especially when you only have 2 fullbacks, and in terms of depth, 2 fullbacks for depth, and then you loan one out, and then now it's like, basically Lennon and Wiley had to play the full match, and luckily we don't have any mid-week matches yet, but like this, we need to get some depth quick.
Yeah,
we do.
Their
legs aren't going to keep up with this. They're very good, but at a point it'll just be too much for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting a little dire if you think about it. I mean, like if Daniel Rios gets injured, we're out of strikers too. Like these are getting, this is getting almost like cataclysmic, like it was like 2 seasons ago where there were just nonstop injury after injury, and we just never were able to field a good starting 11. Let's see. So Bryson Cicero asks, we feel like we've struggled breaking their press tonight and only had success on long diagonal balls to the wings. Thoughts?
Yeah, the right side definitely was. Our diagonals definitely kept going over there. I think it's a very astute point. Through balls were coming in to the left for players that were running in behind, mostly anyway. And there wasn't much service for the striker. Like it was just hopeful stuff.
I mean, Sabo was trying, but Brooks had a pretty quiet night. I was a little surprised about that. Sabo was all over. He would be shooting in balls from across up in the attacking third, and then all of a sudden I'd see him sprinting all the way back to stop an attack, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy is all over the place. So good for him with that. It sucks again that he just comes so close to scoring and it just doesn't happen for him. It's got to be so annoying for him, and hopefully it doesn't get in his head like it clearly got with Mosquera, who apparently now is, brain broken with that pass, and now he thinks everything he does is, going to psych himself out. So hopefully they can rid themselves of that. Bryson also asked, I agree, and I think that Gonzalo to make a change to help build up, the build up. If we are gonna enforce, we have to play that way. I guess he was saying, because Daniel was saying breaking a 5-man midfield press is difficult with only 3.
Absolutely, yeah, they were outnumbered, and it was also this. It's like, okay, they're playing with a 5-man back line. They're always going to be really tough to break down. So, because basically when you have Lucho Acosta, it's like you have the Magic Man. Just he only needs moments, and that's the thing with FC Cincy, at least this year, is that without kind of the ability of Brandon Vasquez that they relied on last season. I mean, this season, they're not as clinical, but shit, we still let them get 2 goals on us. Like that's,
their new strikers opened up their account on us.
Yeah. Right. Yep. It's like, we're that type of club that just like, hey, do you wanna score your first goal in your MLS career? Yes, we can do that for you.
Yeah. Good thing you're playing Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want? Are you a goalkeeper? Do you want to stand on your head and have a really great game? Yes, we can also do that for you.
Yeah.
It's
Are you a backup keeper doing that? Yes.
Yeah.
yes, exactly. It's no. Obviously, it's not something that's like explainable or actually like replicable, but it's just something that it obviously keeps happening. Who knows why, but it's I think at this point, with the amount of injuries that we've had to sides that Gonzalo Pineda's coached, is it really luck at this point? I think we need to ask that question.
Yeah.
No.
Is it the conditioning?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it the medical staff? Like, we need to start examining these things.
I was gonna say, because we can put this to like a European team. Look at Dortmund. Look at how much their medical staff has issues. You look at players like Holland, Reina. You look at players that have come out of there that were deemed injury prone or had injury issues. They leave that team and immediately injury issues disappear. And now you got to kind of consider that with this team, because it's happening too frequently at this point. And it's just, you just got to wonder.
Maybe Miles Robinson had a point. Who knows? Need to get off of this injury-prone team.
Yeah. And, it's obviously, that's above all of our pay grades.
Yeah.
But
it's like, how do you look into that? Like, you have to hire like a third-party group to come in and be like unbiased about it. It's like, it's like asking the police to investigate themselves. It's like, oh, we found no wrongdoing.
Right. It's basically the Bobs in Office Space. It's a really deep cut for
yeah.
So, but yeah, basically, you need to find out who the people that are the people persons, and then who's holding on to their red staplers. I'm gonna drive this
Just
metaphor.
keep going.
Yeah.
Anyway, Drew, what are your final thoughts?
Okay, let's hope that this wasn't just a flash for Almada, because seeing him get on target with that strike, I was like, okay, there he goes. There, he found that shot that he's been looking for games now. Let's hope he can continue that. Hopefully, we can get some people back. Silva, Yakomakis, and maybe Gregerson be on the bench next game. Hopefully, Cobb is fine, and we can go into the next match and start to get more healthy and start to pick up points again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah, one last bit about Noah Cobb. The migraines. I don't know if he wears contacts. I mean, I don't, but I've known people that have, and I wonder if it was something like that, where maybe his contacts were giving him migraines or something, or whatever it is. But the fact that he couldn't see,
I was gonna say,
is troublesome.
I can speak from experience that, if it gets bad enough with one, you're down for the count at that point.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't get migraines, but I know people do too, and you get, like, in some of them at least, get auras in their eyes, and it literally blocks out their vision, and that's probably what he was experiencing.
Yep.
Right, the optical, was it?
Optical nerve.
Yeah, or there's a name for that where you see the auras. And, but yeah, either way. But yeah, Drew, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Speak to you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good night, man.
See you later, bud.
Good night.
Always.
Okay. Let's see. A couple more thoughts. Yeah, get your last thoughts and comments in, guys, as we wrap up here. Bryson also says, thought on the Yorgos return. don't think I remember him getting many touches. No, I think you can count it all in one hand, and it wasn't very many. And I mean, yeah, like AJ kind of touched on it a little bit. He definitely seemed cautious, seemed a little, timid, and that's fair. I didn't expect him to play really at all or really make much of a dent in the game. I didn't want to have to rely on that to be a way out of this game. Unfortunately, it looks like perhaps Pineda put him in because we needed a goal and maybe he thought could come from Yorgos, but I just didn't see it happening. If anything, I thought it might re-aggravate something with him, and that made me even more nervous. Yeah,
they didn't really need the goal. We just scored, and then we made a triple substitution. Like, this is the thing. It's like, okay, at least, sure. Like, there weren't a couple players in the same line, but like, it's something that like you do in Sunday leagues too. It's like, yeah, you don't change out a whole line, or at least two players in the same line. Like, that's in one substitution, because
we've been doing that a lot lately. I've noticed. There's like 3 whole changes. I mean, Cincinnati did it tonight too.
Right, but it's a little bit different, I think, when they did it, because they didn't just score,
Right.
And
yeah, but I mean, like it's like you said, these are predetermined subs, so it's the goals just for whatever reason seem to be coming right before all of these predetermined substitutions, which is weird.
I mean, it's the perfect time to make the sub, in a sense of like, if you are waiting for stoppage in the game. But the problem is, like, okay, yeah, you have a corner, even if it's an offensive corner. Like, yeah, wait until it's over, and then okay, if it's like a throw in, okay, yeah, you can actually organize and like, like that's like a throw in is not that crazy, like that's the perfect time to do it. Usually, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not relying positionally for everyone to be perfect where they need to be, or like a set routine. Like I'm genuinely curious what that set routine was supposed to look like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have PTSD of seeing them try to do either like short passes or some kind of from the training ground type play, and I feel like it just doesn't work out often. I think it maybe worked out once recently, because I remember mentioning this while watching it, being like, oh my god, they're trying a short play, this never works out. And then I think it did in that one time, but like for the most part, I feel like it's often not a good idea. Bryson also says, fans around me had the feeling that he gets to some crosses if he's can I read tonight? Jesus Christ. Fans around me had a feeling that he gets to some crosses if he's in over Rios, but I get he can't immediately come in and play 90. Yeah, I mean, he will. So yeah, he will get some of those crosses that were intended for Rios, most likely if they're on target. I don't know if a lot of them really were. I think a lot of those were a little errant. Like AJ said earlier, they seem to be a lot of desperate crosses. So, I don't know if that would have really made a difference. However, Yorgos just being 100% in the box when you're attacking makes a difference in and of itself. So that would have changed things just by him being there. Maybe not necessarily with those specific balls and his height, but just him being there would have changed things for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and who knows, like, if we had 3, maybe even 2 healthy strikers like that were 100%. GG, I don't think is 100%, and match fit. Like, maybe we could have played 2 up top to actually chase this game properly. But yeah, it's I think the chances that we were trying to fashion later on in the match, it was just like, okay, we were pushing, but it was not where we had any really clear-cut chance.
Yeah.
We were just kind of trying to play around the area and hopeful ball.
Since he was good. They held us back. They were good. The only way we could beat them was with a Galazzo. So, Hey, Bryson says, my girlfriend got a headache during the game too. Wonder if there was something in the air in the stadium. How do you feel, AJ?
Other than it being like, it was like a little chillier, obviously with the roof open, but it felt great. I mean, I feel fine. So, thankfully I don't really get migraines, but
Yeah, neither do I.
yeah.
I really don't get headaches very often, and that's because my dad says I never think at all. So, Bryson says, short corners never work except for we got one like a week or two ago, and I think that's the one I was talking about just now. So yeah, they never work until they do. Daniel Graham says it worked tonight in the NWSL game for Bay FC. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, yeah, like, that's your opinion about short corners and whatnot. Like, I don't necessarily agree, but I think it's not only just short corners, like just any sort of routine that you might have on a corner or a set piece. I think there's you have to have the wiliness, the smarts of when you play it, and that game state really matters, because Tata Martino, pretty much we never played long corners. We always played short corners for a reason, because we didn't have the size. So if we weren't going to beat that team with a header, well then this is how you get caught out.
Right.
Instead, it's like this was worse than playing a long corner or any of that, because we just straight up just gave it the ball.
Right.
And, so I don't think it was exclusively because it was a short corner. It was just a poorly executed routine.
Yeah, it was a dead ball scenario learned on the training ground, is what Pineda was talking about. Also, one last thing I want to talk about real quick. Interestingly, during the press conference, Doug Robertson basically asked him, like, how do you fix this stuff that's what's happening, in these games, so it doesn't become like a trend and it's not like last year and things like that. And Pineda kind of a little bit passive aggressively went off on Doug and said, like, what do you want me to say? We are going over film. We are practicing every day to make sure these things don't happen. We are, doing what we need to do to make sure these things happen, and they still happen. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, they happen sometimes. So I just thought that was very interesting, and in my mind, that's just him being frustrated in that he just doesn't have the personnel that he believes that can get the job done.
Mm-hmm. And he has every right to be frustrated. Doug has every right to ask that question. The players, it's always this. You can only show people the door. They have to walk through it. Right? So with that, his message may not be coming through. But also, we have no idea if it's the right message.
Yeah.
Like, it's, with Clement Diop and his assessment of Gonzalo Pineda, basically on his Instagram story, if you missed it. I think we talked about it last stream as well. But he called Pineda an average coach. And so far, in his career for Atlanta United, he has been either average or below average.
Yeah.
So, we've had really good players, and we've also had a lot of injuries. So these all factor in, but we've had our best squad in some time, and though we dropped points in the first match, when we had all our players, we looked good at home, but on the road, still nothing. Even when we had all our players, it's still small sample size on these players, but I mean, at the end of the season last year as well. You know, like yeah, we were playing so well, but we still were not winning on the road. So yeah, he needed more time with these players, but at one point, like it's not scapegoating when like what's the progress? What are we seeing? Like, you know, like is there something that we are building towards? Like, because I don't know if the fans see it. I don't like. Is there something like extraordinary about Gonzalo Pineda that is just really coming through? Because I don't know, like besides being a like pretty decent player coach, it seems like.
Yeah.
I think tactically, we're seeing a lot of like yes, this is his first job, so okay, you know, that given the caveat. But why are we sticking with this if you know the team is trying to win?
Yeah.
Now.
Well, this is definitely the put up or shut up season. This will be his defining. I mean, honestly, I think he's gone regardless. If we win the cup, he'll be gone. Mm-hmm. If we don't win the cup, he's probably going to be gone too. So.
Yeah, and so it's like, yeah, obviously, no one's calling for the move now because it's just like, you know, it's not like he's lost the locker room. Like, if he loses the locker room, that's probably, you know, because that's why Hainsey was gone.
Yeah.
That's why Frank de Boer was gone. Like, they lost the locker room. And, you know, Pineda is, he's really good at keeping the vibes good. So.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really stupid analogy, but is it like you know how a parent is like, they say about parents, you shouldn't be always the friend to your kid. Sometimes you have to be the parent. Is Pineda being too much of a friend to these players and not much of a coach?
Yeah. That's a good question.
It could either be very smart or very stupid, that thing I just said. So, who knows?
Yeah. It's a good question because we're not in the locker room. We're not, you know, obviously he's not really much in the locker room either, but like on the training pitch, you know, like what is that like?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's maybe the combination of what he needs to be that it's not quite there yet.
Yeah. All right, let's get onto the wheel. Let's see if I can get this to work this time.
Yeah, and yes, we owe you some stuff here, but it's been busy around these parts. So
all right, it works. Yeah, it's been busy around these parts. We will get them. Do not worry. Let's see. It's going to be either me or AJ. Who's it going to be tonight? It's me again, 2 times in a row.
Boy.
Great. Super duper. I already have a dance video I'm going to have to film for next week, and then let's see what else I can get to add to that. I'm so privileged to add to it. I get to dress up for. So we both. No, we don't have that. Okay. So yeah, I have to dress up for the dance video. I guess I'll have to combine those two somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
Well, all right then. So yeah, that'll be interesting. So yeah, for next week's stream, we will be we'll be showing those videos or doing them live. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see what's gonna happen. It might be, yeah. We'll see.
I don't know if we're live.
It's regardless, they're gonna be shown. So we'll see how it happens. It should be an interesting one. It's gonna be a good time. I'm going to be having like a small birthday party on that day, so that'll be a good time too. So who knows how much that will intersect with the review of the game.
We shall see.
Yeah. All right, so any last comments in the chat before we head out of here? Gavin just popped in. I'm never going to celebrate a goal where we lead ever again. I'll just clap, even if it's in stoppage. We'll always find a way to let it go. It's starting to feel like, this was people are starting to use the word trend, and it's, to be fair, it is a word that is creeping into the conversation. Are these negative, bad things starting to be a trend? And we need to nip this in the bud, like you said earlier. Good teams don't let themselves get onto bad grinds, so hopefully we can nip this in the bud. Bryson's last thoughts: was disappointed with the crowd tonight. Yeah, you're not the only one who said that. Just a lot of that going on. The diehards are always there, of course, but it's difficult when you have a product that we currently have performing the way it is currently performing. It's hard to get people excited for it, unfortunately, especially when so many of our star players are out. And also, it's Yorgos is doing a decent job, but it's like, the team lost its, super, what's the word? Like, super big, boisterous personality in Joseph Martinez. And that kind of charisma hasn't really returned. Yorgos is, like, pretty good. I'm happy with him, but I don't think
he. Like 80% there.
Yeah, but I don't think he's and I'm not like taking anything away from him. I don't think this is something. I just think like Jose Martinez was like, he was above everybody when it comes to that. He's like an Ibrahimovic level, like crazy, that kind of character. So it's going to be hard to replace that kind of person. Most people are not this way. And he also happened to be very, very good and a MVP level candidate, for multiple seasons and holding records with our club. It's going to be hard to break that. Like, to find that kind of guy to come back and reignite by himself the city, it's going to be hard to do. It's going to be a hard sell. So we're going to have to find something else, a combination, a team that can really solidify winning ways and getting people to be excited for this team. So hopefully it'll happen, but
yeah, it's personality. Like, personality backed with talent. And yeah, that's we have to figure out what this team actually has as far as personality. And I think that's partially why, like, as much as we've been lauding, I think maybe at least on the show, on Five Track Weekly here, Brooks Lennon, he's been very good. But as far as captain, it's like, if Brad Guzan's out, yeah, he's probably the next person that's maybe captain, maybe Yorgos Yakomakis. But I think that's probably the issue, is like, Brooks Lennon doesn't really have the cult of personality like we mentioned.
Yeah.
Like to really inspire, the whole club, the fans, everything. Like,
yeah, Zonde and Tristan are kind of they're kind of picking up a lot of that load too. I appreciate their like, personality and what they bring to the club in that regard. That's really neat. And it's just hard, man. When you had someone like Joseph, and a lot of people really liked that about this club. So
yeah,
I mean, Thiago just doesn't have a personality for that. A lot of our other players don't, and it's it is what it is. Most soccer players are not like this, so.
Yeah. It's true, but that's the thing. That's something that I guess they need to kind of try to figure out. But yeah, it's the crux of it is that okay, well, Gonzalo Pineda, could be that as well, because yeah, you have like the Jose Mourinho's, you have the Pep Guardiolas, these are the best coaches obviously in the world, but a Wilfred Nancy definitely, I think, tactically is far and above a lot of the coaches, if not every coach in MLS. And so, like, those are the types of people that we need to figure out. Like, how do we get that strong personality back with talent back into the club? Because there's a lot of these other communities that are sunshine pumpers, and we're still positive, we're still real, about it. But I think, the Sunshine Pumpers, there's a toxic positivity that can also happen. And the toxic positivity of like, oh, these people are always so negative, or, these people are, they never see the good in anything or something like that. And it's like, yeah, you can see the good, but you also need to see what's actually going on and what's going wrong at the club in order to fix the things. Because people clearly, there's too many Sunshine Pumpers that things aren't being fixed. And that's what the issue is.
And establishes mediocrity. Yeah. So
Exactly.
we also, Bryson said it's the late Barca messy problem where the best player isn't the clear vocal leader. And we also have Tommy Moose in the chat with a picture of Miguel Berry as his profile picture. That's funny. And he says, "Oh boy." So you tuned in on one of AJ's classic rants. So that was a good one. You were here for that. I'm happy you were here for that. He says he loves Sunshine. Well, we around here like to call you Sunshine.
Yeah. Love it. Well, anyway, I think that's a great point to stop on. So, yes, we will wish Michael an early birthday.
Thank you.
Great. Fantastic birthday. And, hope it's wonderful. But, yes. Anything else left in the chat?
Let's see if I missed anything. Gavin says Pineda isn't our guy for long term. I'm not calling for him now, but he's gonna be gone sometime in the future. Yeah, sure. I'm not quite sure what the content of that message was, but he will be gone sometime in the future. That is true. But for me, like I said, I think he likely will be gone after this if we win the cup, and also if we don't do well enough, like I would say like top 2 or top 4 or something. Top 4 like overall, top 2 Eastern or something. So we'll see. I feel like this is really his put up or shut up season, and if he just doesn't knock it out of the park here, I don't see any universe, any argument, anything at all as to why he's still around.
Yep.
All right, guys. With that, that's pretty much it. We will see you later. AJ, why don't you sign us out?
Indeed. So, guys, we love you so much. Thank you for watching all the way up until now. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. That's Michael. I don't know which side. Probably right side. Yeah, that way. And I'm AJ. And we will see you in the next video.